Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be discussing what could the next LR be. Of course we do have a little while, with about 3-ish weeks till our next LR I think. But I want to make a video going over what it could be, because there's a lot of choices we could get. So, of course these are the current 16 LRs in the game. So Margaret, Lolly Merlin, Lilia, Milim, of course there are 2 collaboration characters, Glocks, Queen Diane, King, LR Bon, Liz, Zell, Melly, Brynhild, Escanor, Rimuru, Galland, and Helbram. Of course, the most recent one also being Helbram as well. So realistically, we're not going to get double back-to-back fairy, but I highly doubt it. The reason I'm also going to set it by characteristic is I feel like realistically, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it by sort of characteristic. Of course, Helbram doesn't really have a characteristic. Liz doesn't either. They don't have characteristics. If you click on Liz, she's got no characteristic, because she isn't a part of any group, really. But I like to do it by characteristics, a little bit easier. So, if we go by characteristic, and we just go by races in general, we haven't had a demon one in a very long time. I think our last demon one, I want to say, was Galland? I'm not sure who came out first, either Galland or Zell, I don't know. But, of course, since the new Rise of the Demon meta and demons coming out, it is quite a possibility that we get a commandment as a new LR, which would be quite good. Of course, there is a giant on there, which you've only got currently one LR giant as well. You've got everyone else is a demon, apart from Glocks, which I don't think we're going to get another Glocks. Draw would be quite a good one. I don't know which one they'll do. They'll probably do green. I feel like green's probably the better option. If they want to go for a taunt character, I guess technically they could do blue. I just don't feel like blue is as impactful as green. I feel like green would be much better. I also got Derriere as well. Also, once again, another quite fine option they could do for an LR. If they don't want to release another variation, they can just give her an LR. You've got Monspeet as well. Preferably for it to be the green Monspeet, because green Monspeet has already a decent passive that works quite well with its relic. Red is okay, but I feel like, you know, if you want a DPS and quite a decent support, green is probably the best way to go. For Derriere, realistically, it's probably going to be like red or blue. The only reason I say blue is solely because the relic, which gives her buffs, and you know, she's a taunt character, so increased HP is always quite nice for her to have. Or like red, maybe, as a really powerful DPS. You know, they can quite easily beef her up a bit. Green is not bad. Her passive would actually be really useful. No enemies can fill ultimate move gauge by moving skills. That would be quite good. But realistically, I don't see her getting an LR. Sadly, no, that would be kind of broken. Another quite good contender is actually Blue Festival Esteros. Not only is he quite old now, he could quite easily get an LR. You know, his kit's quite decent. I know currently people are using red, but I feel like blue could also quite easily make a comeback. His passive is quite decent. The encroachment is quite decent. You know, if he got quite a half-decent LR, he could, once again, be quite meta-breaking. LR Brynhild was quite meta-breaking. And I feel like a blue LR Esterosa could quite easily be meta-breaking. Especially because his passive is quite good as it is. You know, you get basic stat boost, you get damage increase taken. You know, if they made him, you know, maybe give him a Flood and Spike or Flood and Sever, or like this and a weak point, so it does like 3 times damage plus 50% increased damage out. I know they'll be completely broken, but that's just, I'm just saying that for now, sort of thing, as an example. Or like 2 times damage if they're debuffed. You know, want to get another powerful skill. His ultimate would need a little bit of a rework. It's kind of flimsy now, it's not the best. Maybe with the new Demon King it wouldn't be too bad, because once again Demon King can apply corrosions on the enemy, so maybe it would not be as bad. Stats once again wouldn't need too much of an overhaul. His stats aren't too bad, bear in mind how old of a character he is, they're still quite decent. But yeah, and the final one, Melascula. Of course, there was a rumor going around the next LR is Melascula. I don't know if that's true or not. The leak, I'm going to use quotation marks on that, was it was blue Melascula, which is okay. She's got Infect single target, AoE skill, which is okay. Her passive gives her basic stats for real gauge on the field, which I guess could also be quite good. Her ultimate stat, Relic wouldn't really work because it requires the other Melascula. But once again, you know, the relic doesn't always have to work on the character for them to get the LR. It's just nice if it did. I doubt they would LR red, just because red is quite powerful with this revive thing, and I doubt they would want to make that really a very meta effect. Of course, they quite easily could. Well, we had immortality with Hell. Once again, she had two of them technically, one on herself and one on an ally, or on herself if it got removed. which is, once again, that's the reason why I said this Melascula is quite easily possible, because this Melascula is a lot easier to defeat. You know, you just kill this Melascula, and then you can then kill whoever's got the immortality buff, because it disappears because it's linked to Melascula, sort of thing. The reason why Hell's a little bit more irritating to deal with, because she's got one of her own immediately. With other things, once again, collabs, reruns will give us LRs with collabs. Ragnarok, we recently got Brynhild, so probably not. Once again, they quite easily could do back-to-back Ragnarok if they were. Probably Red Freya is probably my most wanted one. I feel like if he gets an LR, a decent LR, I would be very happy. He's quite a good support character. He can power the damage when he wants to. His relic is really good. Applicable allies get 5% base stats and deal 5% increased damage for single target skills. That's per ally, being either Ragnarok or Unknown. And I feel like if they make if they just make this Freya good, you could probably run a mono Unknown team. You could probably run like Hell, this Freya. Who else was I going to say? LR Brynhild. She's Ragnarok, and someone else in the back, because it's not a bad team. You know, you've got basic stats, damage increase, you've got Brynhild insane damage, you've got Hell's immortality. All it's really missing is another piece of the puzzle. Or a Skadi. I would not be opposed to a Skadi, preferably red. Blue's okay, but I would prefer red. I feel like red Skadi's a little bit better than blue, in terms of, like, I think an LR would come out better with red than it would with blue. Baldur definitely does not need one. Tyr, no, he's got the green variation, which is still quite good. Brynhild, no, she's got one. Freya, maybe? Once again, she's unfortunately been made as a demonic beast character, but I feel like maybe an LR with her would be quite good. Her passive is very outdated now. She came out the update after Demon King Melee, so she's about 2 years old, which is quite old for characters. Her damage still was not that bad. Her relic is, once again, very good for demonic beast or for Nidhogg. And her ultimate's like the highest multiplier ultimate in the game, 1,350% AoE Abyss skill, by the way. The only reason why it's such a high multiplier is because it's got the wave effect, which lowers the damage dealt per enemy on the field. So if there are 3 enemies on the field, you lose 60% damage, which isn't too good. But still, once again, can still get a quite decent LR. Quite easily could. Archangels, realistically, if I see them LRing anyone, it would probably be like, I don't know, it wouldn't be a Margaret, so it won't be Ludo. I don't see them doing Mael, because we now got Dark Mael as well. It would probably be a Tomil or a Sariel. If I had to guess, probably Sariel, maybe OG Red. Sariel would do quite good. He's got a decent grace still. His relic would actually be kind of useful. You could quite easily give him a decent passive boost and he'd be really good. He's got Sever already, he's got Power Strike, so all you need is like a little bit of a stat buff on this, and then a damage increase, like another effect, like, I don't know, Pierce Rate, like 2 times Pierce Rate, or whenever he uses this skill, he gets an 8% attack boost, or whatever the effects are, and it'd be quite good LR. Honestly, quite good. Sins, a Gotha, really. That's all I would really like to see, this Gotha. I feel like if this Gotha gets an LR, he would be quite good. He's got insane support, being able the ability to give 45% attack related stats with his relic. A 10% HP boost, which is okay. That could be a little bit better. He has ult gauge removal. His ultimate can literally remove every card in the enemy's hand, which is crazy. That, of course, is at 6/6. And he's also got a seal as well, which seals level 2s. At level 2, it seals ultimate, and level 2s, level 3 seals all skills except debuff skills, which is pretty cool. I feel like he would get a quite decent LR. I don't see any of the other ones. Red Gotha attack seal spam. It is possible. Green Gotha is also not a bad shout as well. He does have ult control. He's got attack related stat boost for if allies are all different race. You know, maybe bring back Sins a bit with the whole different race aspect. And it is, once again, a viable option. Because, yeah, it's just decent. I feel like Red Gotha would be too much of just a pain to deal with. I don't think they would do that. You know, debuff spam, attack seal meta I don't think is really something they want to bring back. Where I thought like Gotha, these two Gothas would actually have quite a good one. The other Sins, who else are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not missing any other Sin but Gotha. So, yeah. I would like to see one of those Gothas get an LR. Gods, once again, like I spoke about, same thing. Four Knights, I would actually not be opposed to, like, OG Percival getting an LR. I know it's completely useless, but I feel like you would. I know he's not old either, but I wouldn't mind him getting an LR, or even OG Tristan. Just stop making him a decent backline again, or at least make him somewhat useful for demons, because he's pretty underwhelming for demons. Of course, there is the new Tristan. I don't actually know what he does. He does a whole lot. I don't have him, so I'm not really too familiar with what he does. But there's quite a good selection of characters that I think could deserve an LR, would actually be quite good with an LR. Whether that's to make new metas, so they do an Unknown to make Unknown's meta again, or a Ragnarok to make Ragnarok's meta, or they do a Demon to keep the trend of Demons constantly being meta at the moment. But of course, we'll have to wait and see what they release. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like as the new LR, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.